All right, what's going on, Yanis, and everyone who's interested in watching this video? We just finished a live build, and we were tinkering with some stuff at the end related to order numbers. So let's say you have an application where you have sequential orders, order 1000, 1001, 1002. The first thing we want to do is make sure that the next order we add is order 1003. But there's one additional thing we want to make sure. If we then delete order 1003, we don't want the next order we create to use that ID. We don't want it to be 1003, even though in the table it will be sequential. We want it to be 1004 because we've essentially retired that previous order ID because it was associated with something that we've since deleted. And so there's a number of different ways you can do this. The first way is, instead of deleting, you can just archive, and then you have a record of all the row IDs. But if you actually want to scrap that information from the database, which there might be many reasons you want to do that, we need some sort of historical record of all of the IDs that have been created to make sure that we're never creating a duplicate. And so you can see here, we have order 1000, 1001, and 1002. Naturally, you would assume that we add a test order, and it's 1003. Let's add another one, and it's 1004. So that's working perfectly. Now, regardless of whatever we delete from the database, we want the next order to be 1005. So if we go to the data and I delete these, when we add a new order, it should be 1005. And you can see that it is. So how do we set this up? The way I've done it, and this is just in the last 5-10 minutes after the live build, was, of course, each order is going to have a static value called the order number or order ID, whatever it is. And this is where you're just storing those numbers or that string of text. So we have that here. And then what we're going to do is, in the user table, we're going to, or you could have it in a separate table, but it's easiest if it's in the user table for this example. We're going to have a text column that is just a set of all of the orders we've ever created. Now, the text column can have, a million orders. I don't think you're ever going to run into any limits. So what we're going to do is we're going to have just a text column, and this is going to be a historical record of all of the order numbers that we've generated. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to clean it up so we can nicely separate it into a list. So what we're doing here is, next to this text column, we're going to add a template column, and we're going to replace these square brackets and these speech marks, quotation symbols. For some reason I can't think of what they are, but basically we're just going to replace it with blank, so we just have a nice clean set of numbers. Now what we want to do is then split this up so it's an array, and then we're going to sort this array by ascending. So we're going to basically, even though theoretically it will always be in ascending order because of the way we've designed it, this is just one extra level of security, I guess, in terms of making sure we're not reusing stuff. And so we're going to get this array. This is just a split text of the cleaned orders, and we're splitting by comma. And then we're just going to sort array, and the array we're going to be sorting is that array we just split. So now that we've sorted it, we can get the latest number. We're using a single value, and we're going to get the last item in that array from the sorted array. So the last item is always going to be the most recently created number. So we're going to get that. Then we're going to add 1 to it. So the next order we create, we're going to be adding 1. So this is the latest record that exists. For the next one, it's going to use this. And then for some reason, when we are appending or adding an element to this array, it doesn't like the math column. So all I've done here, you can see this is just the latest plus 1. All I've done here is made it into a template column. I'm just replacing X with the result of this math. Okay? So we have the historical records of all the orders created. We're just cleaning it up, removing the quotation marks and the square brackets. Then we're splitting it into an array. We're sorting, ascending. We're getting the last value. We're adding one, and then we're turning it into just text so we can then update this again. So what that looks like on the front end is when we click add, it opens a form. Here we're going to put the customer name. This is just a very basic implementation. Now, on the left-hand side, we're going to silently submit that next number as the order ID for this order. So the way we do that is we get the values from the user profile, and we're going to select this orders next. We could also select this because they're the same thing. So either or. And what that's going to do is it's going to get, currently I think it's 1006. It's going to just get that and insert it as the order number for this order. So that's what we're selecting there. And then on submit, what we want to do is we want to add an element to the set. So this is going to be data structures, add element to set. The set that we're going to be updating is the user profile orders historical. It's that first one I showed you. The element that we're going to be adding to it is the orders to append. So you can see here the math column doesn't exist, right? It's gone from latest, next isn't there, and then to append. So this is why we had to just kind of add that semi-redundant text column. But nonetheless, it still works. So we're just going to add to append. And then we're going to re-update that historical set. So we're going to take the set, add the element, put it back. So when we click submit, we have 1006. If we do another test, we have 1007. Even if I come in here and delete all of the orders, the next one is going to be 1008. So that's how you do it, and I hope that's useful. Cheers.